Hello, I hope you're okay. Not going too mad with this second lockdown. Hopefully it won't last too much longer. Incidentally, I was thinking of you the other day because we had a surprisingly clear night sky here after a day of sort of rain and cloud and just general drizzly horribleness. And then suddenly in the evening, ping, perfect evening for stargazing. So I got the telescope out and had a quick look. And I hope you did the same. But anyhow, to music. Yes, I hope you're having fun playing at the moment. I totally understand. You'd rather come back to lessons once we're all back to normal. But just in the meantime, whilst you're getting started with the Clementi, I just thought I'd put a few ramblings and tips on a video. As I said, I would just kind of point you in the right direction and sort of help you make sure that you're playing this with really good technique and so forth. So, just a few, these are just general pointers and stuff. I'm not going to sort of, tell you what the notes are or anything like that. You absolutely don't need me for that. The first thing, I really can't stress this enough, I would be meticulous with the fingering. I think I'm right in saying the edition that I've recommended you get has got fingering marked in, got good fingering marked in. I would follow that to the letter because anything like this, you want it to, like the Mozart you play, you want to eventually get it so that it's almost, I'm loath to say robotic, but kind of automatic, So, and if you're using the same fingers on the same notes every time, it's 10 times easier for the muscle memory to learn it. Now, on a technical note, I would, even though you probably can read a lot of this hands together, I've got no doubt about that, I would practice it hands separately. To start with, mainly because in this piece it's pretty much always the right hand that wants to project over the left hand, which is normal because the right hand has more of the melody. So you want to work on kind of keeping those left hand figures really soft and delicate, whilst keeping the right hand a little bit more bright. And a good way to do that is to keep the left wrist a bit lower, whilst having the right a bit higher. So on and so on and so on. So the hand that's being quiet, think of that one as trying to sort of stay small, hiding like a hedgehog. And the hand that you want to project being a bit more ballet dancer about things. There's lots of... the second thing I would suggest with this, it's a good idea when you're sort of learning it to try and practice the whole thing on the quieter side. As I think we talked about this a little bit with the Mozart, it's far better to have the whole thing relatively quiet and then deliberately make the bits you want louder, rather than to be in the habit of playing it all loud and then trying really hard to quieten down the quiet bits. And even though quite a bit of this is marked forte, it's sort of forte within the context of a very classical sound. So for example, a forte in this style is very different to a forte, say, in a rock piece, where forte really means go for it, be really loud. But even a loud part in something like this sonatina still wants to be quite sort of delicate and refined and elegant. So I practice it more on the quiet side. Another couple of tips, just on the sort of technical side of things. Occasionally practice it staccato, even the bits that are not staccato, practice them staccato. Sorry. And so on and so on and so on. For two reasons. It sort of helps encourage really good articulation, so the notes are crystal clear. You don't want any sort of smudginess. You want everything really kind of crystal clear and well articulated. But it also gets you into really good habits with curving the fingers, keeping the wrists sort of in the right position and so on. Practicing staccato kind of forces your hand into good position, I suppose is what I'm saying. Also, with the semi-quaver bits, like that scale run in bar 2 and those broken patterns in bar 7, for example, because those will eventually want to be fairly fast, to get those really even, I would practice those in the broken rhythms, like we did with bits of the Mozart, where you go long, short, long, short, long, short, followed by short, long, short, long, short, long. I'll just demonstrate that with bar 7. So, followed by It sounds a little bit weird, but it's a really good way of getting it really even. So that it's all really, really nice and clean. In terms of speed, I mean, I would start really slowly because your priority to begin with, I think, is evenness, clarity of tone, you know, a really kind of consistent touch. That's the main thing. You don't want this to sound lumpy, where, you know, it's all very elegant and then occasionally there are these really loud, jerky notes. And the best way to ensure against that happening is just, you know, practice in the ways I've sort of just said, bit of staccato practice, bit of alternating rhythms, practice quietly, practice slowly, and then as you speed it up, it will all be really nice, really even, really elegant. But in terms of eventual speed, really, this can go at whatever. I think it needs to be fairly fast. I don't think this works particularly well if it's too slow. It just sounds a bit lazy if it's slow. So part of the reason I'm going on so much about technique is to sort of get you into really good habits with how you play this, so that when you know it really well, the sky's the limit in terms of the speed. And if you want it to go really fast, you go. So on. You'll do a lot better than that. I haven't practiced this for a while. But yeah, if you start with good habits, start practicing in the sort of right way, speed will sort of come fairly easily. Enjoy, and of course, please feel free to send me any updates on this or anything else that you're working on, any compositions, any improvisations, and it would be my absolute pleasure to kind of give you any feedback or, you know, hopefully useful suggestions and so on and so forth, as you're cracking on with it. But yeah, in the meantime, have a good one, and look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.